All right, peace, peace, peace. What's going on? What's going on to the world? Shout out to everybody in the world. I'm not going to be long, but I will be strong. First of all, let me start off by saying it's here. My book is here. Please do your absolute best to research this, look this up. The name of my book is Easy, A Guide to Mindfulness and Meditation. I wrote this for all children, but I specifically wrote it for children who need a little bit of help and support with controlling their emotions and regulating their behavior. If you work at a school, you work at an environment where there's troubled kids, you work at a facility of some kind, whether it be a rehab facility, a behavioral health facility, mental health facility, mindfulness and meditation is a great way to help kids engage. It's a great way to help kids discover their own power. It's a great way to teach kids how to be more mindful of their behavior and regulate their emotions. So if you're looking for something like that, you need something like that, please check out my book, Easy, Guide to Mindfulness and Meditation. All right, just starting off with that. Now, as I said, I'm not going to be long. I will be strong. I want to talk about something that might be a little controversial. So y'all got to forgive me in advance. I'm not in my usual mood. Usually I'm in my ceremonial garb and I'm ready to teach and educate and be enlightened. But today I'm going to feel a little rough around the edges. So we're going to get right to it. Today what we're going to discuss is why people manufacture fuckboys. Now we have a culture where everybody's complaining about the damage being done by the fuckboys. Dudes that lie, dudes that disrespect women, dudes who are not about their business, dudes who play games, immature, overgrown, big grown boys, right? And everybody claim they're done with these dudes. Everybody claim that they're sick of these dudes, but at the same time, we keep creating these dudes. And no culture creates anything that it doesn't desire. It don't make no sense for us to have a space for these dudes, but we say we don't want these dudes. It makes no sense that we say that these dudes are destroying the community, but we keep making these dudes. Where these dudes coming from? They're not born that way. They're created. They're manufactured. These fuckboys are made to be fuckboys, right? So why is it that we live in a culture where we keep creating these dudes and keep going through the same cycles of damage to women, damage to your relationship with other men, damage to your relationship with your children? Why do we keep creating these dudes over and over again? Because after a while, you got to understand, yeah, we talk on a macro level, you talking about the culture, but culture is not something that you can relegate to outer space. It ain't something flying around up there. We are the culture. All of us are a personification of the culture. So why is it that we keep making these motherfuckers? Why? And I thought about it long and hard, and I came up with a list of reasons why I think a lot of us are participating in the creation of the fuckboy. There's something going on. We keep making them, and I think I understand to an extent why. So I came up with a list of reasons why we keep creating what's known as the fuckboy. The reason why we rather deal with the fuckboy instead of dealing with a real man is because a real man has standards. That's rule number one. A real man has standards. So a real man ain't going for certain things. A real man is not going to bend or fold. If a real man says, I don't lie, I don't steal, a real man is going to follow that. And because a real man is rigid, a real man is not going to bend, it's difficult to deal with a real man. For anybody. If you're a friend with a dude who's a real man, if you're not a real man, it's hard to deal with that. If you're a woman and you're trying to deal with a real man, it's not easy dealing with a real man. Because a real man is going to have a certain way he runs his life. He's going to have certain standards. And he'll be friends and be cool with a lot of people. He'll respect everybody. But a real man is not going to invite somebody who don't have standards in his space. And we live in a culture where everybody's trying to throw the old standards out, but they don't have nothing to replace it with. So we have a lot of individuals who run their mouth all day and preach all day, but have no standards. And who want to deal with a man with standards when you don't have none? If you'll do anything for money, you don't want to deal with a dude who got things he's not going to do for money. If you'll do anything for sex, you don't want to be around a dude who got standards when it comes to sex. If you'll have sex with anything, you don't want to be around some cat who got rules about who and when he'll have sex. If you'll do anything to get high, you don't want to be around no dude who got rules about getting high. He has standards, so his life can move in a certain fashion without drama, without immaturity, without toxicity. And nobody want to deal with that. Who want to deal with a dude who really got standards? That's going to be frustrating because you can't get your way with a man who got standards. He's not going to bend. He's not going to fold. Either you have standards all the time or there's no standard. And in a culture where there's no standard, a man like that is going to stand out. You don't want to be around this cat. You don't want to hear him preaching and telling you why what you're doing is not going to work. You want to do what you want to do. We live in that culture where people want to do what they want to do. And that's why a lot of people would rather deal with a fuckboy than deal with a real man. Because a man has standards. Rule number 2 for why we keep creating these fuckboys in our culture. Because a real man will think. Nobody want to be around an individual who's thinking. A person who's, yo, what up, Justin? A person who just does what he wants to do and behaves in an animal state of mind wants to be around other individuals who behave in an animal state of mind. Animals are driven by sex, reproduction, food. And a lot of people are driven by those same things: sex, reproduction, food, emotions. That's it. So when you're around a man who actually thinks and uses his mind, he's going to contradict a lot of what you're doing and contradict a lot of what you believe. Don't nobody want to be friends with no real man who's going to tell you that your beliefs are inaccurate. Don't nobody want to sit around a real man who actually did his research. You sitting there trying to tell him what he need to do. Real man is already on top of that. He done researched that and broke that down. And when you're talking to somebody who know what they're talking about, that makes you uncomfortable. That's why you rather deal with a fuckboy. In our culture, we keep manufacturing these fuckboys because we don't want to deal with somebody who's really thinking and using their own mind, using their own gift of consciousness. You don't want to deal with that. So you rather just deal with a cornball. You'd rather just deal with a fuckboy. That's another one of the reasons why we keep making these boneheads and bringing them into our culture. Because it's easier to deal with that than it is to deal with somebody who thinks for himself or for herself. But we're talking about men in this instance. We'll talk about women another time. But right now, we're talking about being a real man. You would rather deal with a fuckboy than deal with a real man. Rule number 3, why most people would rather deal with the F-boy than deal with a real man, because a real man will be disgusted. If you're a person who will do anything, that means your levels of disgust are very, very, it's high. Your bar for what's disgusting is high. It's hard to shock somebody who does anything. You won't be disgusted by anything or by anyone. So you go along with whatever's in your environment. You'll eat anything, pork, raw food, underprepared food, nasty food, unhealthy food, food with all kinds of preservatives, and you'll eat that. You don't care. I mean, you'll sleep with any female. You don't care. I can tell you some stories about some things I've heard. Oh my God. Dudes will do anything. You know what I mean? Dudes will lay down with anybody. Dudes will have babies and walk away from the baby. But when you're dealing with a real man, a thing with a real man is going to be disgusted by certain things. You a dude who got a son out there somewhere and you don't see your son, a real man going to be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Or if you're not in your children's life, a real man going to be like, damn, what the fuck, son? He going to sit you down and try to talk to you about that shit. Or he's going to try to be an example of fatherhood. And who wants to deal with that if you slacking in that element? If you're a dude who lose your temper and flip out and can't control your emotions, you one of them dudes who got to be center of attention. You one of them dudes that gets jealous. A real man is going to get disgusted with that and not want to be around that, or he's going to check you. And nobody want to be checked by no real man. So you keep manufacturing these clowns and putting clowns on a pedestal because you don't want to deal with a real man made in the image and likeness of God who's not going for that. A real man is going to be disgusted. A real man going to look at your situation and be like, yo, what are you doing? A real man is going to look at you and be like, yo, you met that chick and you just hit that raw. You don't know who she is, where she been. A real man going to look at you and be like, yo, you got kids. You don't see your kids. A real man going to look at you and be like, yo, why you walking around with all these dudes coming in and out your house? Your daughter's right there. A real man going to look at you and be like, yo, why are you twerking in front of your son? Your son's right there. Nobody want to deal with that because we live in that I'm going to do me culture. I'm going to do me. You do you. I'm going to do me. In other words, I don't care how wrong I am. I have no standard. And if you have no standard, you don't want to deal with a real man who has a standard, because a real man is going to be disgusted with that behavior. And he's going to let you know either by leaving and not being around you, which is going to hurt your feelings, or he's going to check you, which is going to piss you off. So it's easier. If you a clown and you ain't got no standards and you wallow in the mud and in the muck, a real man is going to make you terrified, angry, pissed off, uncomfortable. That's why people rather deal with the fuckboy. A real man avoids toxicity. That's number 4. A real man is going to avoid toxicity. That's something that confounds a lot of people. A real man is going to stay away from certain people in certain situations. So a real man is going to see something that's off, or he's going to see something that's unhealthy. He's going to either point it out, or he's not dealing with it. He's out. A real man will walk out of a situation real fast. He go to the wrong spot. He sees something's off. I'm out. He dealing with a female. He sees something's off. I'm out. He dealing with his boys. He sees something off. I'm out. Business situations. He sees something off, yo, I'm out. He's going to avoid anything that he knows is going to go left because he thinks. So he's able to see the future. He's able to project and look at things mathematically and say, okay, the odds of something going left are 99 to 10, 100 to 1. And he's out. A real man is not sticking around for your bullshit. Real man don't want nothing to do with that. He's going to avoid your toxic bullshit. So you might be cute. You might be intriguing at first, but a real man is going to see that toxicity and bounce. Fuck boy, just stick around. As long as he gets something out of it, he don't care. It's hard to shock him and it's hard to disgust him. A man with standards is very easy to shock, and he'll leave. He'll bounce. He's gonna avoid the toxicity. He don't care what kind of wrapper you put it in. You could put toxicity in a beautiful bottle. You could put it in a beautiful woman's body. You can put toxicity in a party. Put toxicity in a new car. Put toxicity in a new job. Put toxicity in money. And a man with standards is gonna walk away from all that. He avoids the toxicity because he don't want to get poisoned by it. He don't want to become it. And he knows, a wise man knows, a real man knows, if I'm around something toxic, I'm going to become toxic sooner or later. It's going to make me sick, or I'm going to have to imitate it in order to continue to live in this environment. And he got standards, even for himself. Fifth reason why people would rather deal with a fuckboy than deal with a real man. A real man will deny his immediate desires for long-term goals. People don't want to be around somebody like that. People are like, yo, let's have fun now. There's a scripture in the Bible, eat, drink, and be merry, because tomorrow we die. That's how most people live. And a real man is not living like that. He's not wasting his time going out all the time. He's not wasting his time blowing money. He's not wasting his time just trying to get laid real fast. A wise man will say to himself, a real man will say to himself, you know what? I'm not going to have sex with this chick. I'm going to deny my immediate goals as I'm looking for something better. And people don't want to be around that. Men don't want to be around the dude who got sexual standards because he ain't got no funny stories to tell. He ain't got no cool stories to tell. And women don't want to be around a man with standards because a man with standards is going to reject a lot of these females out here. So the real man is pushed off to the side. It's easier just to deal with the clown. It's easier just to deal with the fuckboy. Why not? He's not a headache. The real man is a headache. And if you a clown, a real man is going to be a headache for you. If you a goofy bird, a real man is going to be a headache for you. It's easier just to deal with the fuckboy. 6, a real man understands remorse is more valuable than charm. When a real man makes a mistake, he's going to acknowledge, damn, I made a mistake. I did that wrong. I shouldn't have handled that in that fashion. And I'm not going to go there and just smile at you and say something cute and try to make you laugh. A real man is going to put his money where his mouth is. And if he makes a mistake that costs somebody some bread, he can put that bread back in your pocket. A real man is going to understand that charm might make the situation go away temporarily, but at the same time, he's going to understand that what's going to really change the situation is if he changes himself. So a real man is going to deal with remorse. And if you were a person who likes the toxicity, you like the drama, you like the back and forth, you like the tit for tat, you like the pettiness, a dude who got real standards, who has real morality, a real stand-up man, you don't want to be around that because it's not exciting. There's no trauma bonding in dealing with a man who's a real man. So your trauma is not going to get titillated by somebody who really is sorry for what they did and want to make it up to you. Somebody who crossed that line and then go back and say, man, I messed up. I'm sorry. I apologize. And humbles himself and changes the behavior. That makes people uncomfortable. People would rather argue. They'd rather go through the nonsense. They'd rather it escalate into something else because they're thinking on a beast level. And if you're thinking on a beast level, dealing with a man is uncomfortable. You don't have nothing in common with him. A lot of people are charmers. People want to be charmed. Being charmed is more fun. It's more exciting to have somebody say something to make you laugh and you can still be mad and y'all go back and forth and they're trying to appease you as opposed to trying to make the situation right. A lot of individuals, they'd rather deal with the F-boy who's more exciting and more charming as opposed to dealing with a real man who's really going to change and make things better. Because if he can change and make things better, that means you're going to have to change to make things better. And people don't want to do that. Their egos won't allow them to do that. 8, a real man will confront issues. This is something that's serious. A real man is not tap dancing around somebody with a sick, toxic mentality. A real man going to get to the point. ASAP. Let's handle this right now. We ain't got nothing to talk about. Let's just handle it. Let's just keep our minds focused on being real with each other. We gonna be 100% real and deal with whatever the issue is. We're not talking about it. We're gonna deal with it. We're not gonna talk around it. We're gonna deal with it. And if you got something going on in your personal life, a real man is gonna be like, "Yo, stop. You drinking too much. You smoking too much. What are you doing? You popping another pill? What's wrong with you?" And a real man is gonna confront himself, and that makes people uncomfortable because people can't hide behind their lies. Whatever you're using as a crutch or a hand, or you using it as some form of manufactured handicap, you're not gonna be able to get away with that when you deal with a real man. People don't want to deal with real men no more. They rather deal with these corny fuck boys. A fuck boy is gonna avoid the situation. Real man is going right to the heart of the situation. Let's deal with it now. Fuck boy gonna lie his way around it, and some people prefer that because it get walking around drama and hiding from drama. People can be cowards. They can be safe in their cowardice. I don't want to deal with this situation. They can hide in the baby mode. I don't want to deal with the situation. Mommy, you deal with it. I don't want to deal with the situation. Daddy, you deal with it. So people kind of develop this childish mentality when they want to avoid problems. And a fuckboy is going to avoid problems. A real man going right to the heart of the situation. Yo, I heard you said something about me. Let's talk about it. I heard something's going on over there. Let's sit down. Let's talk about it. Hold on. The money ain't right. Let's sit down and talk about why my money ain't right. Hold on. You were supposed to pay this off. Why didn't you pay it? Hold on. You said you was going to do this. Why you ain't get it done? Come on. Give me a reason. That's a real man. Fuckboy going to tap dance around it like, what's, you know what I mean? And people prefer that because you're not being confronted. You can be a coward. You can continue with your lies and deception. You can continue avoiding responsibility. That's why we live in a culture that manufactures the fuckboys. Nobody wants to deal with no real man. Another reason why people manufacture these F-boys, a real man does not tolerate cowardice. Not from himself and not from nobody else. If there's a situation that you're afraid of, a real man is going to I hate fear. I despise fear. If I'm afraid of something, I'm going to go see it. If I'm nervous about something, let's go. Let's get it over with right now. I want to get to the heart of it. I hate cowardice because too many people depend on me to be brave. People depend on me to stand my ground. I got 2 young sons. I can't let my sons see a coward as their father. I can't let my sons see somebody who's afraid and trying to tap dance around. Nah. I hate fear. Real men hate cowards. And if you were a coward and you're using alcohol, you're trying to hide behind alcohol, hide behind drugs, hide behind your man, hide behind your gang, hide behind your set, hide behind your money, real man is going to see right through that and despise you for it. And nobody wants to be despised. A fuckboy going to be pulled in by that. Oh, you flashing money? Okay, cool. I'll be cool with you. You trying to avoid the situation? Yeah, me too. You don't want to talk about it? Yeah, me neither. That's why people rather be around a fuckboy. A fuckboy don't ask you anything. He's not asking anything of you. Matter of fact, he will only ask you to indulge in your lowest standards. And if you can indulge in your lowest standards of behavior, thought, action, education, the lowest standards, you get to be comfortable. It's way more comfortable just falling to the lowest level. A real man is going to make you uncomfortable because a real man hates cowardice. Let's deal with it. Let's confront it. Let's go right to it. And if you a coward, a real man ain't dealing with you. He gonna look at you with disdain, and people want to avoid being treated with disdain. So instead, you rather chill with the fuckboy and chill with the real man. Last but not least, a real man focuses on results. I don't believe in fake power. I don't believe in a fake philosophy. That's why I stopped debating with people. What's your results? Show me your math. I started saying that to people. Conversations end real fast. That's what I think. That's what I'm gonna do. Why are you gonna do that? Show me your math to show me that what you're doing is going to work. Show me your science. I started talking to people the same way I used to write my college papers. I'll be like, yo, cite your source. Where you get that information from? Where did you hear that from? You'd be amazed at how fast the conversation will end. Conversation will be over with in 5 seconds the minute you start trying to focus on the results. Okay, you saying you're going to do you. I'm going to do me, right? You're going to do you. Okay, so I'm going to show you that that's not going to work. I've done the research. I don't talk about nothing. I don't research. I study everything. So I'm not going to open my mouth and say nothing unless I've studied it in depth and thought about it in depth. So I'm not going to debate with you. I'm just going to tell you these are the results. So you want to just do you? I'm going to just do me. Okay, do you. Here's the results. Peace. What have you done? You want to preach about how empowered you are. Okay, what have you done? Where's your power at? You want to preach about how great you are. Okay, well, what's the results? What have you built? That's what it comes down to. I try my best to be a mathematician with everything. Show me the results. What's the answer to this problem? What's the quotient? Show me. And most people can't. Most people are focused on the immediate pleasures of the moment, not thinking about the future because they can't mathematically project on what's going to happen later on. And a real man hates that. A real man is going to focus on the results because I want my life to be peaceful. Real man wants his life to be peaceful. He want to benefit. He want to get money for his family, his wife, kids, everything. A real man going to stay on top of his game. And somebody who's a coward and a fuckboy, they don't want that. They don't want to focus on the results. They don't want to focus on no outcome. I want immediate pleasure. I want money. I want chicks. I want a little flashy car. That's all I really want. I'm good with that. All right. Well, where's your math? What's your projection for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years? What's the results of that? Because pleasure is a byproduct of a decision, but it's not really a result. You can get pleasure from almost anything. You can get pleasure from eating cheeses, but you're not going to get no positive, powerful results from that. Show me the results. Show me the results. A real man gonna focus on results, and when you put it that plain and simple in people's faces, people don't want to talk to you. They don't want nothing to do with you when you talking that straightforward. That's why people rather deal with the fuck boy. I'd rather deal with the fuck. They rather deal with the fuck boy because he don't care about results. He's a child living in the moment. Real man is living in the moment, but he's plotting the future. He's overcoming the past, living in the moment, plotting the future. And a lot of people out there, they don't want to deal with the real man. They would rather deal with the fuck boy. The fuck boy is the one focused on immediate pleasure and gratification. Real man focused on the results. And a lot of people don't want to deal with that. And dealing with the fuck boy, the fuck boy is easier to control. He don't ask for nothing. He don't demand nothing. He only wants you to be in a moment with him, get pleasure with him, give him pleasure, but he don't care about results. And like I said, I ain't gonna be long, but I am gonna be strong. So I'm wrapping up now. I just wanted to get that off my heart real quick. That's why that's why we live in a culture that says that we tired of certain behaviors, but we keep generating the same clowns over and over again. Same clowns over and over. We keep manufacturing fuckboys because in order for the culture that we have, this sick culture to sustain itself, we need individuals. We need individuals who have a fuckboy mentality so that we could avoid confronting issues, avoid growing and really demanding more of ourselves. Our culture demands that we create these fuckboys. Because dealing with a real man is not going for it. You can't trick a real man. You can't subdue a real man. And most importantly, there's an old saying that says, knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. And we live in a slave culture. But anyhow, I'm about to wrap up. But before I go, I want to say one more time, my book is out. Easy, a guide to mindfulness and meditation. Teach kids ages 8 to 12 how to meditate. It's a book that's written for kids, for all kids, but it's specifically written in mind. It's specifically written for kids who have issues with regulating their emotions, controlling their behavior, acting before they think. This book will teach them how to slow down, how to use breathing, how to use positive visualization, how to use affirmation and mindfulness so they can build themselves up and empower themselves and realize how beautiful they are. Unless we really sit down and start teaching our kids mindfulness and meditation, we can't guarantee their mental health. This is the easiest, fastest way to give them coping skills. Easiest, fastest way to build up their self-esteem, build up their confidence. Easiest, fastest way to help them regulate their emotions, and they're going to need it because our world is getting crazier and crazier. And in order to see things as they are, not the way TV programs us to see them, but to see things as they are, we're going to have to learn how to take control of our own minds through mindfulness and meditation. But anyhow, let me say goodnight to everybody. Peace and blessings to everybody who showed up. Good to see y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all in the future. Peace.